Beautiful evening. Man, how cool is life? How cool is life? I can only say that because I've transmuted the misery of existence. I haven't completely transmuted it. I'm still alive. I'm still going to have to go through things. But man, I'm sitting on a bench right now, back in my hometown. This bench wasn't here before. This is a new bench. They've really revamped the place up. There's frisbee golf here now. Never was there before. Looks great. But the reason why I'm so happy is not because there's frisbee golf here. It's because I've just completed the hero's journey. It feels really good. It feels really good. If you guys don't know Joseph Campbell, I haven't I haven't even read his books, but he has a book about the hero's journey, and it's essentially, if you look at any Rick and Morty episode, any movie in Hollywood, anything really, the stories that we tell have a journey associated with them. And you can look up the hero's journey map, and there's a whole entire map associated with someone has an initial calling, they decide not to go, they keep getting pressured. So if we look at something like The Patriot with Mel Gibson, he had an initial calling, everyone's trying to convince him to go to war, he doesn't want to, and then his son gets killed, and then he gets called, he gets pulled into this initiation, and he has to go. His soul is like screaming at him, you have to go do this. So the events in his life occur to push him into that. And then throughout the journey, depending on the specific of the hero's journey, usually a mentor or an accomplice or a camaraderie occur. And there's trials and tribulations that occur on the journey that force the character and the avatar to have to transcend the darkness that is these obstacles in life through death of fellow friends, through challenges and tribulations. And without these challenges and tribulations and the climaxes in the stories, nobody would listen. Nobody would watch the movies. They're important. We need them. They allow us to be human. They allow us to feel deeper emotions. And the best part of the hero's journey is not the climax. It's actually the resolution. And I'm saying that from the experience that I've had. Because the climax is pretty cool to watch while it's happening. The highs are really cool to be on. The lows are really excruciatingly painful. But they really stir up emotion. But the resolution is the best because it provides extreme contentment and gratitude. And the resolution in the hero's journey is when the hero returns home and gives all of the medicine, all of the lessons, all of the wisdom back to the community. I was told by many people my initiation and the things I was going through was very much a hero's journey. And while I was on that journey, it was brutal. The amount of shit I've gone through, the amount of people I've lost, the amount of identities I've had to shed, the amount of people I've disappointed, the amount of times I had to look at myself in all of my darkness and learn to accept it, accept myself. Brutal, brutal. But I'm on the other side of it now, and I'm telling you, go into the fire. When that event occurs in your life, when that captivation of, hey, here's a little message in a bottle, it's time for you to begin your journey. When you receive that, let it rip. Go for it. It will be brutal. It will be challenging. It will be filled with uncertainty and fear. And it will make you into the man you're meant to be. It'll make you into the woman you're meant to be. And it will be the best thing you've ever done for yourself. Ever. It's written in all the mythology. We have to go into the cave to face our deepest, darkest self. That is the dragon, that is the reflection. And we must come out the other side. And we may have gone in there for gold, we may have gone in there for treasure, we may have gone in there for some selfish reason, but we leave completely different. And many times without the gold. And our stories and our wisdom, when we bring it back to our community, creates gold. It creates an ecosystem of evolution for everyone that's involved, everyone that meets you. I'm speaking firsthand because I came back to my hometown a couple weeks ago. I did a massive parasite cleanse. Through that time, I was on the final end of my initiation, and that really just put the seal on it. When I finished that, I went from having really very limited confidence in myself to just hitting another level that I never knew was possible of self-confidence, to where I'm just posting videos every day and I don't care about anything that anyone tells me. And the craziest thing is I have all these people reaching out to me, like just wanting to have a conversation with me. And I have all these people that were watching me from the sidelines who no longer are in my orbit anymore. For whatever reason, me being in my power is triggering people, and that's okay. But I'll tell you this. All that pain I've gone through, it gave me medicine. It gave me real medicine. It gave me real life experience. It showed me the scams in society. It showed me how people are being illusioned. It showed how I myself was illusioned. It showed me the greater consciousness of how people get sucked into these traps. And all of that wisdom that I had to learn firsthand, not through information and reading books, I did a lot of that, but by actually going out into the field and testing it, gave me wisdom. And through that wisdom, I had to embody it. And the embodiment of it makes it real, solidified, grounded wisdom. You can have wisdom that's just coming from information. It's not real wisdom. It's got to be grounded. Once it's grounded, you have something. That's when you can speak to other people. People will ask you questions about things that you wouldn't even talk about because it's grounded. They know it's in you and they want it. They want the medicine. So I've come back home. I did this cleanse. People told me I was crazy for doing it. People told me, I don't think you need to do that. You're doing too much, all this stuff. I sat in the pocket. I got it done. And I'm a completely new person. And the way I've been showing up in my business has been really my true essence that I learned through all these initiations. I've just been going for it. And I have been unapologetic with talking to people and showing them that I have something of substance to give. Because I have so much conviction in myself now. It's because I completed Joseph Campbell's hero's journey. I went through all of this stuff, moved abroad, quit my job, moved abroad after I was sick, healed my sickness, got into all these culty situations. If you want to learn about that, watch my video, Ayahuasca's Bullshit. Many stories I can tell you. Lived abroad for over 5 years. Went to like 26 countries, not counting the US, so 27 countries in my whole life. But within a period, I went to like 19 very quickly. Trained with some of the best healers in the world. Trained with some of the worst healers in the world by them practicing on me with my consent, but without me really understanding what they were doing to me. Having to break crazy spells and curses and things that people would call super woo-woo, and have to get out of all these illusion fields and all of this lying and distortion and all of this stuff. And I come home, and for the first time, I'm content with myself. I'm not trying to go anywhere. And I told everyone, I was like, I will never move back to California. I will never move back to my hometown. It's hilarious because in the first video I posted a couple weeks ago, $0 in the bank account, 31 years old, move in with my father. I talk about how not having that money forced me to come back home. And it's funny because the hero's journey is perfect. I come back home and I'm forced to look at this place with a completely different perspective because my perspective has changed. We don't change the world. The world does not just change. Our perspective changes, and then the world changes because of our perspective. And so I come back home and I'm so content with myself, and I have so much respect and admiration for myself now that I can go out into the world and I can tell people I have ways that I can serve. I can provide service to other people. What I've been learning is we live in a day and age where everyone's trying to sell everyone. It's just constant advertisement everywhere. Let's go, ripping it, and people are sick of it. People are fatigued. And what I've learned this past week, in the past couple of days, is if you want to make it in the marketplace long term, especially as an entrepreneur, you have to have an embodiment that people trust when they meet you, and you have to be able to hold that embodiment throughout. Long ago, there was a time period where you could just sell digital products online with the snap of a finger. You can still do it with very targeted marketing to very specific types of people. But the people that I want to work with, the people that are more privy, the people that are more understanding and have more intuition and want to get to a higher level consciously, they don't just buy stuff overnight. There are some people that I've worked with, like myself. If I see something and I see someone talking, I could see a video like this. The person's talking directly to me, and I'll just jump on and instantly start working with the person. But for the most part, what I'm seeing, especially in the real world of doing business in person, people are extremely slow now. Extremely slow. Because they've been overwhelmed by things that don't work. The amount of things we can buy now on Amazon, it's overwhelming, and people buy so much stuff. And the thing is, we're buying this stuff, we're consuming this stuff to fill a hole within ourselves. And when we try and fill that hole with something, what we end up finding out is we stop trusting ourselves because we bought it and we thought that thing's going to help me. But if that thing, that book that you buy, doesn't ever get read because you don't have the habits to read it, what will start happening for some people is they'll start blaming all of these things instead of taking responsibility for themselves. Or there are also people that do implement things and they're not getting results. And so what happens? Well, a lot of the times it's a mindset issue, right? It's like for the longest time for me, I wasn't attracting things that I wanted because I never felt worthy. I never felt that I actually deserved it. I didn't love myself enough, and I didn't believe that that could be a part of my reality. And so what did I do? I kept attracting not the reality I wanted. And so if we want to attract the reality we want, we have to embody and become the identity of the person that attracts that reality. And so much of this is far less about vision boards and Joe Dispenza retreats. It's about clearing the negative thought patterns and belief systems that we have. When you clear that and you have open space for perspective, you spend less time focused on work and more time on I'm gonna pour some love into myself. I'm gonna go on a walk. I'm gonna work out more. I'm gonna cut back on my overtime. And what you'll start to see is the toxicity in your body starts to leave. All this detox stuff and all these detox programs. I have detox programs. They work really great, but why do they work? Well, they cleanse some negative element inside the body. And when we cleanse that and get rid of it, parasites, for example, are a great example. Um, Liver congestion, great example. When we open that space gives us wiggle room, and that wiggle room allows us to see things differently. So for a lot of people, I know it can feel like there's a drowning sensation going on where you're so overwhelmed with life. You are inside of a metal container and there's water that keeps pouring in, and you get to the top and you take the last breath and you think you're going to die. It's very overwhelming. Then we start holding tight because we thought we were going to die, and we somehow get out of it, but we still feel like we're going to go under again, right? Well, what we need to do is be able to open that space. And when we choose to take a different breath in a different way, more calm, and we start doing self-loving practices, we open that container, and then that container like can never get filled with that much water again, ever. And of course, there are life events that can occur where a new container comes in and drowns you, but you know how to hold your breath now. So I'm just so pumped because I just worked on I worked on myself so adamantly for so long, trying to get somewhere, and it paid off. It did come from a place of trying to finally become worthy, and I am now. And it took me a long time. And I do envy some people that didn't have to go through the journey, but I'm sure there's also people that envy me that came out of the journey at this level. And I would not at this point choose anyone else's reality than mine. No way. I've been through so much, and it's really a gift. And I share this because I know there are so many people living with dreams that don't appear tangible. And what I mean by that is there's so many people living with this buried dream that they wish they could unlock, but they don't feel that they can attain it. And I was that way for a very long time. But I am here to tell you I've gone through the fire. I've bled, I've cried, I've laughed. I've traveled to many places, met many people. And the best way to live a life is to go for it, to jump ship, to burn the boats, to let go of your identity, to adamantly chase your desires. There's a lot of propaganda now that's like desire is a bad thing. No, it's not. Desire is there to show you something to try. It's like, obviously, if I desire to do meth, not a good idea. But for the most part, as long as you're not going to hurt yourself or others, if you have a desire and you have the courage to go try and get that desire, to see it, if you obtain that desire, if you obtain the fruit in your hand and you choose not to eat it, because you've obtained it, that's real power. And it's not power in a manipulative way to control people. It's like, I have this thing, I went for it, and I don't actually feel like taking it. Cool. That was a desire that wasn't actually mine. It was a desire that was programmed by society, and I don't want it. For a long time, I wanted to be dummy rich with tons of mansions in a Lamborghini. I've thought about it before. I didn't obsess over it, but I really wanted to obtain this level of wealth that was just programmed. It wasn't what I really wanted. Now I want to be philanthropic. I want to go out and do really cool shit with really cool people and like really help the world. And what's wild about what I brought up earlier about trust is it's a long game, and the longer you play the game of learning to trust yourself by doing what you say you're going to do, by challenging yourself, by going out and taking courageous action and falling on your face and getting bloody noses and letting pretty girls laugh at you because you looked like a buffoon when you walked up to a girl and didn't know what to say. When you do that, you start to free yourself and you build up this experience, this life experience that people want to be around because you love yourself. And I tried for the longest time getting clients to help them in the health space and all of these things, and it was a lot of trial by fire. And I'm still learning so much. But I'm getting clients results. I just did a 30-minute session on 2 clients, a husband and a wife. It was crazy because they messaged me and they're like, what are your rates? What's the timeline? And I said, an hour to 2 hours per person usually gets good results. They go, can we do 30 minutes each? And I was kind of like, well, the best way to get results is at least an hour. And I wasn't doing that for the money. I was doing that because that's what I saw before with my results. But it's crazy because they wanted to do 30 minutes each. And so my dad gave me good advice. He goes, yeah, just work with them and get your foot in the door. So I went over to their house. I worked on them, 30 minutes for each of them. And they're like, I could see it in their eyes. Everything changed for them. They had so much more space in their body. They felt what it felt like to not have as much pain. I'm like, wow, I can get people results that quick because of how much I've done, because of how much I've learned, how much I've put myself in the fire, and how much conviction I have in the techniques of going into the fire and learning those things. And as I've gone into the fire more and more, I've been able to see through illusions, and I've been able to actually attract and meet people who have real, tangible tools and evidence of results that people can get. And it's absolutely wild because I'm getting people results. There are people that literally go to chiropractors. These 2 clients told me, we've gone to the chiropractor many times, we don't go anymore. I go, why? They go, because we go, then we have to come back in a month. And I go, great. Funny you should say that. I don't want to see you after a while. So if we work together, there's going to be 2 things that happen. 1, I'm going to try and get you out of the door as quick as possible. And 2, if you have to keep coming back to me, that means we're not implementing the things that I told you should be doing. Like changing your posture when you sit down, getting a standing desk, all of these things, right? Getting wider shoes, walking barefoot. Tons of stuff to be able to change and implement so we can be fully integrated. But so many of these systems at play, a lot of the medical system is it's a revolving door. And it's why I made that video, ayahuasca is bullshit, because there's this revolving door that goes on. And if we don't get people to integrate properly, they don't change their life. And so the hero's journey is so important because it forces integration. I came back home. I'm sitting in this park. And I have so many memories coming up about all those good times. And right now in my heart, I can feel I had so much fun with my friends. And when I moved abroad and when I was sick, I had so much resentment for my past. And now I don't have any of that. I just have gratitude for the life I lived. And I have major gratitude and so much gratitude right now for just being here. And what I found on my hero's journey was it was so hard for me to accept being here in this reality. It was so hard. I didn't want to be here at all. It was very painful for me. I have a lot of emotions coming up. And what's painful for me right now is just knowing how many people are walking around hurting. And I see so much. I have so much hope and faith in humanity. And I know we can restore it. And I know we can build new worlds, not from ego, not from greed, just from conviction that being a human is a good thing. And really embracing the compassion for others, of understanding how much pain they're in. The more I do this myofascial release work with clients, the more I'm just like so happy to be a human. And so much of what we're experiencing right now in this timeline is things, people, propaganda machines, different levels of consciousness, the powers that be, as people will say, trying to convince other people that this is a bad place, that humans are evil and greed is everywhere, and life is suffering, and it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way. It will be that way, though, for everyone at some point. There will be deep pain. There will be grief. I was talking to a man today. He's 80 years old. He's one of the happiest people I've ever seen. He has tremendous pain. When he's walking, his back is all jacked up. He had a stroke before, but he smiles. He smiles every day. And he told me happiness is a choice. And I knew this already, but I see a guy who cannot walk that well. His mobility's messed up, and he's putting a smile on his face anyway. He's telling his brain, you know what? I'm going to be grateful. I'm going to be grateful I'm alive. I love people. I love being around people. He surrounds himself with people. He talks to everyone. He has incredible business opportunities all the time. He's 80 years old and he's closing $1 million deals. He just kept showing up. And this person had 2 of his 3 children die. He's 80 years old. He had a newborn die, and he had a 27-year-old kid who was an incredible human being die. And that kid got into an accident, and he got in the medical system and started taking opioids because he was in so much pain. He got addicted to opioids and overdosed. That man lost those 2 children, and I asked him, I said, how did you handle that grief? And he said, the thing about grief is it's really interesting. Because grief exists when you love something so much and it's taken from you. And he said, the best way to get through any grief is to accept that you'll never be the same. He said that's what got him through it. He said those events, those challenging times, losing something that you love so much, the only way to transmute that is to accept that it'll never be there again and that you will never be the same. And the most beautiful thing he said during this conversation, he said many beautiful things, but it was oh, excuse me. Oh. Whew. He said that a lot of people get trapped wishing that the past would come back to them. And he said that the way to get through that is to understand that memory that was created is always in your heart. That person that was there with you, who you love so much, who's now gone, is always there with you when you hold on to the memory of the good times you had together. And I've lost so many friends and wonderful people along my path, and I've changed immensely, and I've done bad things to good people, and I've had bad things happen to me, and I've been a good person. I try to be, and I've had people with bad intentions and bad people do bad things to me, and I've been on all sides of Cartman's drama triangle, and all we can do is hold on to the memories that bring us the good feelings, and we accept those feelings that feel bad, but by choice we say, no, I'm going to smile today. I'm going to remember that person. I'm not going to sit here at a funeral and cry the whole time. Maybe I do, but I'm also going to choose to be abundantly happy that I got to spend time with this person, that I got to experience this thing, that I even had the opportunity to exist here as a human in this timeline. Man, a lot of emotions coming up on this one. I'm just so grateful, so grateful, and it all comes back. Why am I so grateful? I'm so grateful that I get to serve other people. I'm so grateful I had the courage to keep going when everything inside of me was telling me to stop. When I was tested by so many obstacles, when I had so many paths in front of me that were way easier than the one I chose, and I chose the harder one because that's what my soul wanted. And ultimately, what I'm describing is something that's obtainable for every human, is to be able to reconnect with your heart, to reconnect with your essence of what it means to be a human. We are powerful creators. If you believe there are other realms and existences that are trying to take our energy, why is that? It's because we have something they don't have. We have heart. And with our heart, when we're connected to it, we can create anything we want. And when we choose to give back to community and to be philanthropic and to give, not so you can save money on your taxes, to give from a place of I am human and you are too, and I'll do this for you because I know you do it for me. Even if that person never would, you show them what it means to be human, what it means to be giving. The more philanthropic we can become, the better this world becomes. I was chasing money for a long time. I was chasing just other people's dreams for a long time. Very long time. Just greedy. I just bought into this lie that wasn't me. And I had to continuously bash my fist against the wall trying to get all these objects, all this money, and realizing that's not me. And now more than ever, I want to give back. Of course, I have to make money to put food on the table, but I also just want to continue serving so that I can do very big philanthropic missions with very philanthropic people, and I want to show other people what's possible to be philanthropic, to give back, not for the sake of getting views on a YouTube video or a TikTok, to get fame and recognition, to give back and show people what happens when we give back. We reawaken the hearts of other humans. The amount of people I work on who have been sexually traumatized, who have been violated by the person that brought them into existence, who have been beaten and abused and told by their parents horrible things, horrendous things, because their parents were told the same. To be able to give back to people who don't trust anyone anymore, what does that do for them? It starts to restore trust. And when we show up this way enough over a long period of time, the trust and the faith in humanity gets restored. We are just being fed through this propaganda machine from this thing that does not want us to be operating from our heart because it's too powerful. When we're operating from our heart, we do not need anything. We cannot create from some 5-year plan. The only way we can create is when we're in a situation where we have no idea what's going to happen and we move through it. I can make a plan. I'm going to wake up today and I'm going to go to the mall and I'm going to talk to as many people and hand out my business cards. But that situation is going to be completely different than how I planned it. And that is walking through the fire open-hearted, opening my heart so that I can see what happens in this reality. It creates a vortex. And if we have everyone doing that, where they're just going out into humanity, expressing themselves as they are, learning to take the mask off, learning to remove all the cognitive distortions that they've created from their past experience, and realize I can create my reality in this moment right now, that is when humanity completely shifts. We are in the greatest time that's ever existed. The Great Awakening. And during the Great Awakening, do you want to say on your deathbed, do you want to say to other people, I lived during that time, but I chose to be asleep? It's not going to be me. If you're watching this, it's not going to be you either. God bless. Later.